Okay, let's get out of here. Normally headed down this road, I wouldn't even worry about locking in my hubs, but I know it gets sandy and I'm just not sure what this trailer is going to do back there, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and lock them in, make sure I'm ready to go. Are you running, Toner? I guess Toner's running. Alright, this is us. Looks like we got the place to ourselves out here, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up. It was interesting coming in. You can definitely feel that trailer back there. It adds some weight to it, and I'm coming to find that the Land Cruiser, I just don't know that it's got the power. I don't know if it's got the oomph to be pulling a trailer like that on a regular basis. When you're getting passed by semis going up hills, like you're standing still, yeah, so gonna have to do some thinking on that one. But this is where we're gonna hang out tonight and get camp set up and wait for my buddy to show. I don't know if you remember these red rocks. We'll go check those out soon, I'm sure, but right now I'm gonna work on getting camp set up. That might look like a little bit of a mess right now, but I think it's gonna help. I put the opening on the high side just because I'm worried the ladder might reach or might not reach, and the tongue's a little high because I just unhooked from the cruiser, but I'll get it settled down here and get it set up, see what I think. Well, I gotta tell you, there's a lot to love about this setup. I was feeling fairly discouraged again driving up here after the flat tire, and the Land Cruiser just doesn't have the oomph that it needs to move this trailer up those hills. So that was feeling a little frustrating, and then even just the wobble still is kind of bothering me. So the wobble, the power is an issue, but after getting here and setting up, I really like it. It's really good. I think it's so cool to be able to set this up, and then I can hop in the Land Cruiser. Like, I'm going to go check out a training area tomorrow where we're going to do our canine search and rescue training, see if there's any campers in it, if we need to change locations. And so it's great that I could set up camp and just leave it and go. And not to mention the coolness factor. I mean, come on, look at how cool that looks. So cool. I mean, I just feel cool. I feel like that guy that's cool, that's out here camping in his cool camper that he made, you know. Anyways, I'm having some mixed emotions. I guess we'll just put it that way. I'm feeling some frustrations. There's definitely some fine tuning that needs to happen on this thing before I'd feel really comfortable taking it on a longer road trip. The Land Cruiser, I don't know what to do about that. But I've also got a plan B with this. And the plan B is that I think I can fit it and the Samurai on the flatbed trailer behind my truck. So take the truck down the highway, park, unload these, head down dirt roads. Sorry about that. The battery died on me suddenly. I need to keep a better eye on that battery. I don't remember what I was saying, but basically I've got a couple of things that definitely need addressing with the trailer, some fine tuning on it. The Land Cruiser, love it, but there's something off. I need to figure out why it's so down on power. I don't know if I've got some bad compression, or I don't know. I've got a feeling it's in the distributor, in the ignition system there, and so I need to look into that and see, because that's not going to work the way it was pulling to get here. But other than that, I really like it. I guess I better sleep in it for a night before I say I really like it, but I think it's pretty slick, and I'm pretty excited about it. So anyways, I hopped in the Land Cruiser after the battery died, ran over to my spot there that we're going to train at tomorrow, and right now it's open and empty, so I think we're going to be okay there. And I think I'm going to start working on dinner. My buddy should be coming. He said he could leave at about 6 o'clock, and it's about 5:30 right now, so he's going to be headed this way. I'm probably not going to do a lot of filming once he gets here, because I just want to be able to hang out and spend some time with him. I'll try and keep you up to date on different things that's happening. Tonight I'm actually cooking a surf and turf bake deal. This is a pretty regular dish at our house that we have. Shrimp, kielbasa, potatoes, corn, and then some Old Bay seasonings. Really good stuff. But I'm going to do a little spin on that, and I've got a couple of sirloin steaks that I've been marinating, so I'm going to grill those, slice them up. I've still got shrimp, potatoes, and I'm going to do that in my Dutch oven deal. And so I'm going to start working on that, so that maybe when he gets here it's close to dinner. So here we go. Okay, so that's what we've got. We've got our potatoes. I put some water in there and some butter, and I know I'm going to get some flack for putting water in this cast iron. It's going to be okay, I promise. That's just going to help kind of boil, cook those potatoes. I'll dump it out, and then I'm going to be able to re-season it with what I'm putting in next, so we're going to be okay. And I'm going to put that on to boil, start cooking those potatoes, because that's what's going to take the longest. I'm going to grill the steak, but that should go pretty quick, and then everything just kind of goes in: steak, potatoes, the shrimp, corn, and then the seasoning. And I set that up to bake like an oven for like 10-15 minutes, and it's going to be good. I'm excited. Well, while those potatoes are cooking, I got thinking that something was missing from this area. Like I said, I've camped here before twice. Have I camped here twice? I don't know. I've been here a few times, and one of the things that I've always admired was this big old dead tree. And sadly, it looks like that tree has come down. One of the kings have fallen. We've had some really big storms push through here, and it looks like that's what happened. Is one of those big storms came through and toppled this tree over. Here it is now, fallen to the ground. So I've just got to assume that it was one of those big windy storms came through and toppled this down. Right over here is where I camped before, and I probably would have tried to set up here again just because I kind of like this with that big rock background. In fact, I think that's my firewood. I think that's the firewood I left here for someone else last time. That's kind of funny. But that tree is right back there, maybe 50 yards. And I can only imagine if I was here camping and that thing fell over in the middle of the night, woof, that'd wake you up with a start. I'm sure it made a big noise when it came tumbling down. Well, I shouldn't have gone for a walk. I ended up burning potatoes. I'm gonna take a taste of one here, but my guess is that whole batch is bad now because you get that burnt taste in there and it just fills everything. I might be starting over here. I may have lucked out. They actually don't have that real bad burnt taste, and it's only a couple of them, so I think that I might have opened that lid just in time. So I'm gonna let them cool down a little bit more, taste test them again, make sure, but I think we're okay. Well, got the steaks on. Rolling there. My buddy just showed up. They're getting their camp set up, and so it's time to cook dinner. And we've got, well, it won't tell me how long, but we're at 74 degrees, and we're gonna get up to a nice, probably kind of a rare, because it'll finish cooking in the oven. So it's good stuff.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light, running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head.
Well, my buddy's just headed off through the trees there. And wrapping up, it's about noon, 11:52 is what time it is. I figured I'd just do a quick summary of the setup and its inaugural run, and kind of the pros and the cons, and kind of a final wrap up. We got up this morning, and he made up some breakfast burritos and some pancakes, and it was good breakfast. Good breakfast. I almost went in for a second burrito, but I knew I wouldn't be able to hike if I did. And then I took off and set up for search and rescue training, and I actually had my buddy and his son head out, and so that we could do a real world scenario with one of the dogs that we have that I felt like was up to that task and at that level. And so we went out and did that scenario this morning, and that dog did fantastic. I was really impressed. We were out for just over 40 minutes, I think she said, and the dog covered it was close to 2.5 miles, I think, that dog covered, out looking. And it was really neat to see that dog's body language as soon as it caught scent drifting. Went in, found him, came back, indicated, led us into him. It was a good scenario. So we came back to camp and threw some throwing stars and throwing axes and chatted a little bit, but now it's time to wrap up and head for home. And this is kind of feeling like home for me. I'd love to stay here another couple of nights because it's just a beautiful area, but I've got obligations I've got to get home and do, and so I'm gonna hook up here, set up, put everything away, and hook up and head for home. But here's the rundown. I love this setup. I really love it. It worked great being here as a base camp. I was curious how stable that was going to be through the night, and I didn't notice it moving around. I didn't feel it wobbling a whole lot, so it felt pretty sturdy. I like having the whole trailer set up to throw stuff in and close up the doors when I leave, so I don't have to worry about people coming and getting into my stuff or trying to steal things. It's spacious inside of here, so it's really nice for packing up. I've just been able to throw my chair, lodge, Dutch oven, everything in here, and shut the doors. The whole setup with the awning worked good, and the tent, I love it. Really good. I talked to my buddy about bracing, and I think what I'm going to do is run some uprights from the tongue and do an X through there to support it, and then wrap around from the side and do probably 3 wraparounds from the side, and I think that'll just make everything a lot more rigid and I think work pretty well. And I think the upside to that too is that'll put a little more weight out towards the front of the tongue to balance the trailer and put a little more weight forward. So all those things, I'm excited. I'm feeling optimistic again about this trailer and the setup. The biggest downside that I can see right now is the Land Cruiser, is it just doesn't have the power to pull a trailer like this, or I just need to plan to be very patient. And wherever I go, just plan that any hill I hit, I'm going to slow way down. But it gets a little unnerving when you've got a semi truck right in your tail and 3 other vehicles behind it, because people just aren't patient like they used to be and pass when they shouldn't, and things like that. So I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit. So that's the biggest downside that I can see right now, is just the power of the Land Cruiser is just not there. But other than that, this setup, I'm digging it. I like it. I'm really excited to fine tune it and turn it into something that can be used often. And what I'm really excited about is I think this could be somewhat of a family setup. I think I've got enough space to haul enough equipment, supplies, comfort, everything. I think we're set up to use this as a family weekend or several day getaway. So really cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and put everything away, get hooked up, and head for home. And luckily home is downhill, so home will be quicker than coming on. But I hope you've enjoyed being out here, and I really hope that the time lapses that I put together of the sunset and the sunrise turn out, because I think those will look really nice and just give you a feel for how beautiful this area is and this particular spot. What my what my mind and my soul needed on this weekend to rejuvenate, recharge, and just get back out here. And just the therapy factor of it just is, it's like meditation maybe. I don't know, some of those things that yoga, whatever it is that you do, that kind of recenters you and gets you back to being good. That's what this does for me. Just really gets me back to feeling good and optimistic and happy. So, but I'm going to hook up and load everything in, head for home. And I'm probably going to leave it in 4-wheel drive until I get out to the pavement, because this road is pretty soft. But then I'll unlock my hubs and head for home. So until next time, lock them in, grab a gear. I'll see you in the hills. I'm not gonna leave you here. Oh, it's a long walk all the way up through that sand to come get you though, so should have driven back. What can you do?